I'd just like to send out a regret from Sean Hatfield and George Aljaco, their counselors, along with myself, Jody, and Don Messenger. And they couldn't be here today. Sean has prior family commitments before this was scheduled, and George is away on a Bayside adventure, working on better that place. So they send their regrets along. Also, I'd like to thank our MLA, John, for being here. And he's going to do a little bit of videotaping, and Chris, thanks, and we appreciate you coming along. I'd like to thank the staff that's put this together. It's many from the municipality that's put an effort in this. I'd also like to thank Bonnie Shan Simmons. She was the one that brought this before council. Had she not brought it before council, it may have been done, but it may have not. But it's certainly it's getting done today because of her. So Bonnie, I'd like to thank you for doing that. It's a very great thing to do. Also, it happens to be the 20th anniversary of this ring of being opened. It was opened in 1995. And before I go into the dedication and the speech, I've got to tell a couple of stories about Sandy, because everybody said to me, Sandy is a very nice dog. Sandy is a very nice dog. But at times, I didn't know what to think of him, because I played a lot of hockey for Sandy, and I'd be sitting on the bench, and he would come over, and he would just call me out, call me anything he could say, and then he would look at me and he'd say, "You're lazy, you've got to skate back." So I got to thinking, I said, Jesus, this is the guy that they say he's a nice guy? I got to ask him, why does he pick on me? So one day, one game, we were playing, and he came over and he said, actually it was in 1995, I go back up here. In 1995, in Game 6 of the finals against the Woods Harbor Whalers, and I know a lot of people remember this day. It was a March day. I can honestly say it was the best day for Sandy and I, because that was the day I got a smile on. And he come over, it was the first period of overtime, and he walked up to me and he said, "Eddie, I'm going to put you out there with Stephen and Pat. And I want you to skate your butt off and get back and don't let those guys score." So I said, "Not a problem, Sandy, that'll happen." I said, "But what I'm going to do, I'm going to score the game winner when you put me out there, Sandy." So he must have knew something that day, because I went out there within 25 seconds of the game. I was going in on a breakaway. I took a slap shot, and it went in. And it ended the game in the series, and we won it. That's not the best part of the story. Sandy, after we're in the dressing room, he comes up and he walks up to me with the biggest smile on his face that he can get. And he said, "Eddie, you know, I'm glad you didn't let me down." He said, "You know I hate losing, but I hate losing to Woods Harbor even more." and he said, I gotta thank you. I know I was hard on him over the years, but I gotta thank you, because this is one of the best days of my life. So Sandy and I did have a turn together to feel good, and it certainly changed my mind to say, well, maybe he doesn't have it in for me. So at the meeting on September 28th, our council, the Barrington Municipal Council, officially changed the name of the Barrington Municipal Sandy Memorial. As you all know, Sandy passed away in June this year. He was a Sandy citizen, volunteer in the municipality. Sandy was an influential sports figure for over 40 years, coaching both hockey and baseball. Some of the teams that we remember that he coached, and I'm sure it's not all of them, but the Bear Point Beavers, the Braves, the Bear Point Aces, the Clarktown Froggies, the Dogtown Slowbridge team, minor baseball, both boys and girls. He was coach of the Wood River Whalers, and that's not the team that we beat in '95. That was the Wood River Whalers Junior Hockey Club back in the, I'm going to say, I think it was in the 70s. And I'm sure some of the guys that played on that team is here today. Actually, I know they are. I've seen them come in. The Barrington Hawks and Northern Dogtown was coached for 18 years, winning 6 championships with one of those with them. The most memorable, I gotta say, is going to be probably here. Sea Star Ice Dogs. Sandy also was the honorary coach of Boston Bruins, and with his help in the state it was at that time, he came on the bench and he stood there and did what he had to do, and he enjoyed it very much, very much. Sandy spent countless hours volunteering behind the benches of baseball and hockey games, tirelessly encouraging and motivating players to live fast, all while teaching the necessary skills for the game of hockey and baseball. His dedication and passion for coaching was dynamic. Despite his failing health, Sandy's positive attitude continued to be an inspiration to all that had a pleasure of knowing him. He was a kind gentleman who always had a kind word and a gentle smile for anyone he met. And in saying that, when I would go to, I know Maggie drove into Tim Hortons many times, and I would walk into Tim Hortons, and I'd go over and I'd be talking to the guys, and Sandy would go, "Eddie, is that you?" And I'd walk over and I'd say, "Yes, it is." "Yep, it is, Sandy. Just give me a hand, give me a hand." He always had time, always recognized people he knew, even though he couldn't see. So it tells you something about him. He was a very valuable member to our community, and not only as a sporting avenue, but as a citizen and a role model to adults and children alike. So it is with great honor that the municipality of Barrington dedicates our arena in memory and in recognition of Sandy Wickens. From this day forward, the arena will be called the Sandy Wickens Memorial Arena. We do have a plaque to We have a plaque and a jacket that will be unveiled here today, and his grandchildren is going to do this. His grandchildren are Jessica Matthews, Ethan Nickerson, Creed Nickerson, and Nate Montemont. And I will ask them to go forth before the plaque right around the table and unveil those. And Jody, if you and Don will go over and help them out, and I'll join you.
So I think it's not happening, and it happened. said, oh, check the pockets and see what's in it. And in one pocket was a handful of chalk, and in the other pocket was a couple of rollers. And she said, Sandy always had chalk, and never went down in his pockets, and we got it, so she don't look anywhere in there. So when I got there, I was ready to take it to running. I stopped at the front of the show and got a pack of jump around and put it down in the other pocket. But that was a very fitting to say. He talked to her in his house. What would he say if he was here today? We're not so sure what was something to happen if he was here because he didn't have attention. He didn't want any recognition. So I think it's played exactly the way it's supposed to play. And I'm just going to say that if you think that one person can make a difference, think again. And I'm not saying that for my benefit. Someone else was working on the pencil, requesting this. But I just happen to be the one to do it first. But let's think for a minute that one person that we can't make a difference in your community. And again, thank you again, John, and everyone who was involved in this, and his legacy will go on as it should. Thank you.
So thanks again, and thanks to Peggy and the family for allowing us to do this, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. It's a great help. We do have a ceremony of alcohol somewhere else, so somebody from the family is going to draw out. So